Now we will start with the topic hypothesis space search in decision tree learning. So what is hypothesis space? Hypothesis space means it's a collection of all hypotheses which are consistent with the data set. Okay, so we have seen in candidate elimination algorithm there can be more than one hypothesis which are consistent with the data set. It may be a good hypothesis, it may be an optimum hypothesis, it may be an efficient hypothesis, it may be a bad hypothesis. Bad means consistent but inefficient. Okay, not so good hypothesis. Okay, so there can be many hypotheses possible, that all collection of all possible hypotheses which are consistent with the data set. So that will be we will be calling as a hypothesis space. And what decision tree we have constructed using ID3 algorithm, that is one of the decision tree present in the hypothesis space. So one decision tree represent one hypothesis. Okay, so it predicts our data set, okay, given the instance. Now there can be many decision trees. Okay, so instead of here we have taken information gain and the maximum information gain, whichever attribute has, we have selected that one. So suppose I make a decision that whichever has very less attribute information gain, I will select that, and then also we can construct a decision tree, but it is not so efficient way to do that. Okay, so but still consistent with the data set. Okay, so we can construct many decision trees possible, which are efficient, inefficient, and so on. So ID3 what it is doing, so in the hypothesis space among many decision trees which are consistent with the data set which can be constructed, ID3 gives us one good decision tree possible. It gives us among the set of hypotheses, one hypothesis we are constructing using ID3 algorithm. So ID3 performs a simple to complex hill climbing search through this hypothesis space. Okay, there are many hypotheses through this hypothesis space, beginning with the empty tree, then considering progressively more elaborate hypothesis in search of a decision tree that correctly classifies the training data. So ID3 performs a simple to complex. So simple means if you have only root, is a very simple tree, right? Okay, or a root and two nodes. Okay, so we go from the empty tree, we go on constructing a bigger tree. Okay, so it is simple to complex hill climbing, because one by one, from very easy empty tree, we go on constructing and adding nodes. So simple to complex hill climbing search through this hypothesis space. So beginning with an entry tree, then considering more elaborate hypothesis. Okay, the more the tree grows, elaborate the hypothesis is. So whatever tree we construct, so it correctly classifies the training, and it is one of the hypotheses present in the hypothesis space. So we'll see some what are the capabilities and limitations of this method ID3. So ID3 hypothesis space of all decision trees is a complete space of finite discrete valued functions relative to available attributes. So it's a very simple thing what we have already discussed. Okay, so ID3 hypothesis, ID3 tree, if you construct, it belongs to a hypothesis space, all the possible which contains all the possible decision trees. Okay, so you can construct more than one decision tree for which are consistent with the data set. Okay, so among all the hypothesis decision trees, so one of the that hypothesis ID3 will construct. So here the author wants to say that we are not constructing something completely new, which is not in the hypothesis space. So they are telling that upon all the possibilities one we are picking up. Okay, so that's what the first point is telling us. The second point, because every finite discrete value can be represented by some decision tree, ID3 avoids one of the major risks of methods that search incomplete hypothesis spaces. That hypothesis space might not contain the target function. Okay, so ID3 what it does, so suppose uh, we are telling that our hypothesis space is consistent with the data set. Okay, so ID3, there may be some other method, possible methods in which actually you don't get a hypothesis. Okay, the tree is not constructed. Okay, so but still there was a possibility of construction, but due to the error in the steps, due to error in the algorithm, due to error in the design of the steps. Okay, so you may not get a final decision tree which you were wanted. Okay, but ID3 it successfully construct the decision tree. So what this point is saying is ID3 is better than other methods, because their other methods may fail to construct a decision tree from that hypothesis space. ID3 does not fail to do that. ID3 successfully construct a decision tree. So that's what second point is telling us. So this diagram is just giving an example that there may be a many decision trees possible, and also observe this point. So simple to complex hill climbing search. Okay, so this is what is simple. So in the first stage the trees are simple, so later the trees are more elaborate. Okay, so this is a hill climbing process. Okay, so from smaller to bigger we go. So that's what it's representing. So it performs a simple ID3 performs simple to complex hill climbing search through the hypothesis space. So it's a diagram representing that hill climbing approach. So next point is again another disadvantage if we see. Okay, so ID3 maintains only a single current hypothesis as it searches through the higher space of the decision trees. So by determining only a single hypothesis, ID3 loses the capabilities that follow from explicitly representing all consistent hypotheses. Okay, so what does this mean? ID3 produces only one tree, so it never shows how many trees are possible. It does not, suppose there are 10 possible trees in the hypothesis space which are consistent with the data set, so ID3 picks only one. Okay, so what about 9? We don't know. Okay, so it maintains only one currently hypothesis, and that's why the disadvantage is so whatever facilities we got, for example in candidate elimination algorithm, so many possible hypotheses, we want to know what does other how does the other hypothesis perform, so we don't know that. Okay, so that's the meaning here. So it has the capability to produce only one hypothesis, at a time, and it does not care about the whole hypothesis space. Other kind of trees, other consistent trees it does not produce. So this is about the first point. Next, so another disadvantage, ID3 does not do backtracking. Backtracking means go back and correct yourself. Okay, that's backtracking. So it does not do backtracking. Once you select, for example, Outlook, so you don't backtrack and see or change it to temperature, or that facility itself is not there. So once you select an attribute it's done. Okay, so it's a drawback, because it may converge to a locally optimal solution. Locally optimal solution means, for example, so you are tasked with picking 10 mangoes. Okay, so you are in a hurry. So what will you do? The first you check some mangoes, whichever the first time you find the good one, so you select that one. Okay, so but if you are free and in a relaxed manner, so you check all the 10 of the mangoes, for example. So all the mangoes you check, and you select the best one. Okay, so that's the optimal one, optimal solution. So what is locally optimal solution? So optimal means so your basic requirement is to pick a good fruit, good mango. So what you will do, instead of checking all the mangoes, first good mango what you get. Okay, there may be better mangoes still, but whichever mango which passed your primary criteria of goodness. Okay, so you select that one. That is locally optimal. Okay, so you have to climb a board a bus, and you are in a hurry. You have to choose mangoes from a fruit shop. Okay, so you are in a hurry, so directly whichever you get, which satisfies your basic criteria for a good mango, so you pick that one. You don't go to such other things. Okay, so this backtracking is going back and making changes so that you get a very optimal solution in terms of fruit selection, what we talked just now. Okay, so backtracking means you pick one good fruit which satisfies your criteria, but you think I will search more, so you backtrack and again pick some more fruits and see whether it is good or not. So finally you choose a good fruit. Okay, if you have time. Okay, right. So that is a optimal picking of fruits. So instead of that, so if you are in a hurry, you don't backtrack. Okay, you just pick one and that's right. So backtracking facility, what it gives for an algorithm, so it gives opportunity to search all possible optimal solutions. But if we deny a algorithm that does not have for backtracking, so if we don't have backtracking facility in an algorithm, so it may result in a locally optimal solution. Means it satisfies the basic criteria of our requirement, but it is not the best one. Okay, it is good but not the best. That is locally optimal solutions. So id3, as it does not have a backtracking facility, so it may produce a locally optimal solution and not a globally optimal one. The best it does not produce, it may produce good. All right, so these two are uh, disadvantages. Okay, so if we speak, the last point is an advantage. So ID3 uses all training example at each step. So for calculating the information gain, we consider all instances if you observe. So ID3 uses all training examples at each step in search to make statistically based decisions, because we calculate information gain. So how to refine its current hypothesis. Advantage of using statistical properties like information gain is that resulting search is much less sensitive to errors in individual training examples. So if individual training examples have some missing or errors, okay, it will be having a very small impact on our hypothesis or information gain value. So for example, if we take common life example of our examination, for example, okay, so if you have scored good marks in all the subjects, and one subject not so good. Okay, so then you may say that okay, all other subjects have done well, only one, so the result is good. So similarly, that one bad grade may have a very small impact on your total SGPA or CGPA, right? So similarly, so when you consider entire data set, every time you refine your decision tree, so if even if there are some errors, it will have a very small impact on the construction of the decision tree. So this is a advantage. So let's just have a quick recap. ID3, so what we are studying here is with respect to ID3, how it behaves in the hypothesis space. Okay, whether it selects all the trees, whether it produces only one tree, whatever, what is the author's observation with respect to hypothesis space. So we are talking in this context about advantages and disadvantages, capabilities and limitations. So the first advantages is it correctly builds a successfully builds a decision tree, and does not fail to build a decision tree. It always builds a decision tree. So that's one of the good capability. Okay, so next, we talked about a disadvantage, that means it produces only one tree and not every tree in the hypothesis space, and also it does not have a option of backtracking, so it may produce a good tree but not the best tree. Okay, so it may converge in a locally optimal solution, but not global one. Okay, so and also these two are limitations, we can say. And also one good thing about ID3, advantage of ID3 is that it considers all the entire data set while refining or construction of the decision tree. So even if some informational errors are there, so that is suppressed, it is resistant to those kind of faults. Okay, so how many? One and two, three. We have three advantages and two disadvantages. So in the examination, if you get a question like explain hypothesis search in decision tree, so these are the things we have to exactly you have to write.